Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Monga Sonjong. I am a cinematographer based in Toronto, Ontario. About a month ago, Dehancer reached out to me asking if I was willing to try out their film emulation plugin, and I said absolutely. So they sent me their plugin, Dehancer Pro, and I have been trying it out for the past 2 weeks on my recent projects, and I decided to make a YouTube video showcasing how I would use the answer as a tool on my color grading workflow. Let's jump in and see how I use this tool on my workflow. I have a few clips here from a shoot I did last week. So I shot this on the Blackmagic 6K full frame camera. It's a very good camera. I love the image rendition of this camera. I'm going to show you guys how I color graded this image. Let's go to this image. This is log, and all I did to this image, this looks like an overwhelming timeline, but trust me, I could break it down on another video, but it's not as complicated as it looks. So we have this node graph right here. I have the CST conversion LUT from CST to a Rec 709 look. From a CST to a Rec 709 look right here. It's looking great already. So from here, I have a few primary adjustments to do to this image. So I'm going to come to my primary node right here, activate the node, open it. So right here, I've balanced the image. I've done some saturations. I've done some white balance to the image. I've done some contrast, added some contrast to the image, and the image is looking great right off the bat. This is already looking great. Look at this. Great looking image. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking so good. Okay. So let's say from this image, we want to introduce a look. I've done all these other aspects to the image, which is not very important, but I want to show you guys how I'm going to add the film look to this digital looking image. So on this node right here, on this look node right here, I can go drop my Dehancer Pro right on there. So right off the bat, the answer is registering this image as a Rec 709 image. But since I did my CSC conversion node right here, I have the Blackmagic image converted from Blackmagic Cinema White Gamut to Blackmagic Cinema Gamut Generation 4 and 5 to a DaVinci White Gamut color space. So when I come here, I'm just going to say I'm working on a DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate workspace right here. So it corrects the image colors and matches it with the workspace I'm working on, with the color space I'm working on. So source color space is DaVinci Resolve White Gamut Intermediate. Exposure compensation, temperature compensation, all of these primary balances I've already done on this primary node right here. So I don't have to do it here anymore. When it comes to the looks, there's so many looks I could go for. Very color accurate looks. I could go for, like, let's say scene still 800C. Let's see what this does. Fuji Wheeler 500Z. Okay, I love that. I love that. This is on the Dehancer plugin now. Fuji Color C200 right there. Let's see what Fuji Print Fuji Color Pro 400H does right there. Most of these colors are very good already. It has some film attributes already enabled. Let me go turn them off. So we're just seeing what the color does. So this is enable off. All of this, I need to turn all of this off. So everything is looking, nothing's enabled anymore. So we're just looking at the profile. So let's see what Fujifilm Insta looks like. I love this. This is looking great already. Let's go back to the clip. This is looking great. Actually, let me use this clip. This clip is looking like something I would want to reset. So we have intermediate. We have all these profiles disabled. Everything else is not enabled. So we have a clean color graded image right out of camera. And now I can start adding some film attributes to my image. So the first thing I'm gonna want to do is enable profiles. Let's go to Fuji color. Let's go to Avgas Scala 200. That is, trust me guys, that's a film looking image. So far, if you like that look, you go for it right there, but it's looking very good. Let's go to Scene Still 800C. This is looking more like my actual color graded image. Let me turn off the node, turn it on. It looks a lot less contrasty and more exposure, but that's how it's going to render that image. Fuji color 100. Let's see how that looks. Like guys, this is looking great so far. If I could just activate the profiles and just switch the colors from like my color grading profiles to like exactly this film looking profiles, I could do with that and I could let that happen. But let's see more about this color, what they have here. Fujifilm Instax. Okay, you see why I like this color. I'm building more towards this color where the skin tones are looking more goldish, and when I start going into like the Kodak color profiles and going to like the one of the most famous color profiles, which is Kodak Vision 3 250D. Now we're talking. I love this so much. It's looking a lot more less contrasty and more exposed, but from here it's a good starting ground for me to start building a look I like. I'm gonna turn off the node graph and so we can see the image wider. So we have Kodak Vision 3 250D profile. You can push and pull this profile to see exactly how it affects your image. But let's go to reset it to exactly the neutral state. Film developer is where you affecting like primaries in your film look. But I've already done that in my node graph. I've already done that right here where my primary adjustments where I've affected the white balance, saturation, and contrast of the image. So I'm not going to do it under Dehancer. I'm just going to go to Dehancer and I'm going to ignore everything under film developer. I'm going to go to film compression. In film compression, when I enable this, it's going to compress the colors, all the colors in the frame. It's going to bring them all to like a more unified colors. The greens are going to be looking, the extreme greens are going to be looking less extreme, and the lighter greens are going to be looking more like it's going to create a medium for the colors to like function in. We have the impact of this film compression. We can increase that, reduce that. You see how it changes the image? Just very subtle, but trust me, it does like an effect on the image. White point, tonal range, color density. If I come to color density and I reduce the color density, let's go to like these green points in the image and look, color density less, more, less, and more. So this is looking good so far. But when I think film, what I think about is the color rendition of the image and these specific unique film attributes that are added to the image. Grain, halation, especially grain. So many people are selling grain looks on YouTube, but like it's very difficult for you to get a realistic looking grain on an image where it looks like very organic, very true to film. So let's go to all of these attributes are things that you can shift around depending on your image. But I'll just go specifically to the grain look. So grain, we can activate enable grain to this image and see right off the bat this is a lot more extreme just to show you guys how it looks. but this image is looking a lot more grainy, and the grain is looking very rich. The grain is moving around, the grain is hitting the highlight points, the shadow points. The grain is hitting every different light, every different texture differently in the frame. The grain is moving very organically. Let's go to like a grain 8 millimeters ISO 500, ISO 50. Let's go to a grain 65 millimeters ISO 500. The grains are less, like more smaller grains, still moving around, but like we can see the difference in the texture, the highlight roll off, because applying grain to an image just brings the image together, just unifies different tones and different colors of the image, just like adding a filter of moving things, moving spectacles on an image, and it just looks a lot more crisp. And that's just what film does. Film is it looks organic. It looks like the whole frame, the still frame is moving. So I'm gonna apply profile 35 ISO 250, and I'm gonna reduce the amount. Reduce the amount. I'm gonna reduce the amount of grain, so you can increase the amount of grain as you can see in the image, or you can reduce the amount of grain. So I'm gonna reduce the amount of grain to about 16 to 17%. And right there we can see like we can see what it does to this image. You can see right here we're seeing on the skin tones. This is looking great, guys. This is looking, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm loving what this is creating so far. You can come to halation. Halation is when you see an image that has a quick shift between the highlights and a very contrasty area, like a rim around somebody's, like where the light hits the person. That's where you see the effect of halation. Some people might like halation like on an image like this one. So when we come here and enable the green, we enable halation, you can see around like here, halation around the edges where like highlight areas of the image. Let me turn off film grain so you see the effect of halation. When I just start introducing all of these things, all of these attributes by Dehancer Pro, I'm just loving the image so much more because I'm seeing the image coming to life. The image is moving from like a more digital image to like a more organic built image. Halation on this clip might not make sense, but on this other clip, of course, I need halation because I see these areas here where the highlights, where the sun hits her at an angle, and we can see highlights here. And enabling halation is just gonna make those areas stand out and make and create an image like a more three-dimensional image. An image like this where we have no real highlight points and we just have like highlight roll-offs on her thighs here, on her leg. We might just want to leave like the grain to just make the image looking more organic. I'm very conservative when I'm applying the film looks because sometimes doing too much is gonna do more harm than good to your image because it's gonna just look so forceful build. You want things to look very natural. We have bloom. We can enable the bloom where with the bloom it just adds a little bit of more highlight to your image, general glow to your image. We have film damage, something I wouldn't do to this specific image, but you might like it if you add film damage to this image and increase the amount of the film damage. Let's play this. You can see like those little characteristics of film damage, like right here. Look right here. Things like this pop up on the image, and you might like those attributes, you might not like the attributes, but at least you have control over how much you want that to appear on your footage and how less you want that to appear in your footage. We have gate width where it feels like the film roll is moving within its sensor and is having like this little movement, this little organic movement where the image comes to life. Enabling that is going to have your image looking like, look at that movement. Look, just so lovely. We love that. So we have film wave. Especially the video like this where there's dances, high energy going on. That film wave just adds a little bit of organic look. It adds a little bit of handheld look to the image. We have vignette. I love the vignette from Dehancer Pro because it adds a subtle looking vignette to the image. Let me activate this. It adds a subtle looking vignette to the image without the image looking like you have a mask upon the image. It has that little roll off to the edges of the image where you focus on the center of the frame. Okay, this is it. Activated, deactivated. It just pulls your focus to the center of the frame without you having to like put up a mask and reduce the mask, and everything is super controlled here. Yeah, that's it. We have all these attributes added to this image, and when we look back at this image from where we started, from our regular color graded image, just look at this image. I love the skin tones. I love the sky. I love the highlight roll off. Let's go to an image like this one. Activate Dehancer. Just look at how organic that image looks. Just brings it to life. Like, people are gonna ask, like, what about this image? Something is different about this image. Something is great about this image, and it's just the Dehancer effect. It just brings your image to life. Image looking very beautiful, but more digital, more clean, more sharp edges. So this color rendition looking more film-like, more organic. I have the grain looking a lot more. Let me reduce the grain effect right here. Film grain. Tell me this is not looking cinematic. This is looking so cinematic, so good, so good. I'm so excited to dig more deeper into this Dehancer plugin. I'm going to try out a few more clips, indoor clips, more controlled environments, more outdoor environments, to see exactly how I can use this tool to my advantage, because there's so much potential in this plugin, converting a clip from a digital looking image and adding all of these film attributes to the clip and making it look as rich as you want to make it look, making the colors look as rich as you want to make them look, without damaging the image, without color grading it yourself and trying to push them towards Fujifilm or Kodak look or Cine film look or Pentax look. Like, everything is already inbuilt in this plugin and everything is easy for you. Just sliders, click and drop, and make things happen exactly how you want it to happen. Very simplified. Like and share this video, and make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this color grading tutorial. There's more to come. Thanks to Dehancer for sending me the plugin to try out. I'm loving it so far. If you guys want to have a chance to try out the plugin, go to the description and you can get a link to purchase the Dehancer Pro. You can use my code Sonjang to get 10% off, and hopefully see you on the next video. Thank you and stay blessed.